Conflict Resolution Part 2. Today we're going to start by watching this quick video. So I thought that was a pretty cool video, talking about a few different conflicts she had there and different ways to resolve them. But again, know all the information before you act on it, right? As we can see there, she wasn't quite sure those cookies weren't hers. So today is going to be a lot of review, but it'll be good review for you to be able to complete the worksheet. So review of day 1, conflict cannot be avoided, it's everywhere. Learning productive ways to handle conflict is vital. Conflict resolution involves effective listening and talking, which we talked about. You can't just listen to respond, but you really have to listen to understand. Heart to heart is the top 20 way to frame conflicts, not toe to toe. Remember, what do you want to get out of that? Do you want to move on together, or are we trying to have a winner? There's 4 types of conflict: intrapersonal, interpersonal, intra-group, and intergroup. Remember, the intrapersonal means within yourself. Interpersonal means like you and 1 or 2 other people. And then we talk about within one group and within multiple groups. And then there's 5 styles of conflict management: the competing, avoiding, accommodating, compromising, and collaborating, which we're going to go over here. So one way doesn't mean it's better than the other, right? There's 5 for a reason, because they can all be used at different times. Each have pros and cons. It just depends really on what the situation is and what you want out of that situation. It's good to know and be aware of what your initial reaction is going to be, but then another way, know another style that you can use in conjunction with your initial reaction to get what you want out of this conflict. And then depending on the people involved in the situation causing the conflict, you may need to use different styles to come to a solution. So just because something is instinctive to you doesn't mean it's always going to be the best for that scenario. So the first one we talked about is the turtle. From that video where the 5 characters had the animals, is the avoiding one. Doesn't like confrontation, avoids confrontation, and doesn't care about other relationships or goals. It's easier for me to withdraw from a conflict than to face it, and sometimes it's causing me to lose relationships or goals. There's the competing, which is the shark. I want my goals to be reached more than I care about my relationships. I care more about my goals than being liked by others. I'll force people to see that my solution to the problem is the best by overpowering them. Okay, this is the shark. It's their way, the highway. They know what they want, and they don't really care what they're going to have to do to go get it. The teddy bear, the accommodating. So they value the relationships more than their own goals. They sacrifice what they want in order to keep people happy, and they want to be liked by others and avoid conflict because they think that that will damage their relationship. There's the compromising, which is the fox. I'm kind of concerned about my goals and relationships. I'll give up part of my goals and persuade other people to give up part of theirs. That way we can both gain something we want, but we also both sacrifice something we want. And then the last one is the owl, the collaborator. Our goals and relationships are important to me. I'll improve our relationship by getting rid of the tension between us, and we'll have a discussion that identifies the problem and find a solution that will satisfy both of us. Okay, so think about how you typically handle an intense conflict. And here is what you're dealing with. So there's the conflict style, the avoiding, accommodating, competing, compromising, collaborating. And then which ones value the relationships, which value the conflict and the issue. All right, so just think about that as we went through it. The avoiding doesn't really care about the relationship or goals. The competing just wants the goal, doesn't really care about the relationships. The accommodating values the relationships more than the goals. Compromising, kind of concerned about both of them, but willing to give up that part of their goal for the relationship. And then the collaborating cares about them both. All right, so you can just kind of think about it in this format as well. So in summary, as we all know, conflict is a part of life. It can be positive. It can be an instrument of growth. It can be good or bad depending on how we learn to deal with it. Every time we interact with someone, there's potential conflict because people's needs and expectations may not be the same. We all come from different places. We all believe different things, and there's always going to be a potential to have conflict. We can even feel conflict within ourselves, and it may display these onto others unless we are careful. Okay, so know yourself, know what you believe, know how you feel, and make sure what you're relaying to other people either displays that or doesn't. Small conflicts should be dealt with as soon as possible so they don't grow. Try to identify possible hidden conflicts, again, within yourself, sometimes within relationships, whatever that is. And then disagree with ideas or behavior, but not necessarily people. Remember what you want out. What do you want to get out of a certain conflict? Okay, so we're not trying to have a winner, but we're trying to resolve this conflict. So today for your worksheet, I'm just going to read through the instructions. We each have our own way of dealing with conflict. The techniques we use are based on many variables such as basic underlying temperament, our personality, our environment, and where we are in our professional career. However, By and large, there are 5 major styles of conflict management techniques in our toolbox. In order to address conflict, we draw from a collaborating, competing, avoiding, accommodating, or compromising style of conflict management. None of these strategies is superior in and of itself. How effective they are depends on the context in which they are used. Each statement below provides a strategy for dealing with a conflict. Rate each statement on a scale of 1 to 4, indicating how likely you are to use this strategy. Be sure to answer the questions indicating how you would typically behave rather than how you think you should behave. Okay, so this is huge. It's not, it should be an honest reflection of how you would actually behave. Okay, that if you're more honest, your answers are going to make more sense than if you were just trying to give the right answer. Okay, there's no right answer, there's just an honest answer. So there's going to be 15 statements, and you're going to go through and rate them 1 to 4. After you do that, as stated, the 15 statements correspond to the 5 conflict resolution styles. To find your most preferred style, total the points in their respective categories. The one with the highest score indicates your most commonly used strategy. The one with the lowest score indicates your least preferred strategy. However, if you're a leader who must deal with conflict on a regular basis, you may find your style to be a blend of styles. So you're going to put the total score you gave yourself for the numbers on the front page. Your highest score is going to be your conflict management style you typically use. So you're going to go through the 15. You're going to rate yourself 1 through 4 on all of them, and then you're going to go add them up. So you're going to go to question 1, add it to question 5, and add it to question 7. Whatever that total is, you're going to rate it here. You're going to do the same thing for all of these. The numbers right here are the questions, okay, the corresponding statements. You have to add those 3 up and get your total there. Okay, then you're going to answer the questions below based on your conflict management style. Make sure they're thorough answers, and then you're going to answer the questions at the bottom, making up realistic scenarios, and then you're going to submit it to Schoology.